Welcome to the Muscle Building Mastery podcast, where guys that want to build muscle come to learn how to do it properly. We understand that there's more to building muscle than mindlessly throwing weights around and chugging mass gainer shakes. We're not interested in quick fixes or anabolic assistance. We're interested in mastering the art, science and skill set required to stack on real muscle and strength. My name's Andy Clements, and for the last 12 years I've devoted my life to figuring out how guys like us who don't have amazing genetics, don't have 5 hours a day to spend in the gym, and don't want to take steroids as a shortcut can build insane amounts of muscle and strength in weeks and months, not years and decades. This podcast is the result of all the lessons I've learned along the way, and it will give you the blueprint to building more muscle in less time. To get you started, head to www.musclebuildingmastery.net to download your free 6-week workout plan. Hey, what's going on, you guys? This is Andy Clements. Welcome back to the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. It's a beautiful day here. It's just coming up to 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm about to head off to see some coaching clients today and do some training myself. But before I do, I just wanted to jump on here and do a really quick episode of the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. I've got some cool thoughts to share, and it's a little bit different today. I'm not going to directly address muscle building, but I'm going to circle back around and hopefully share quite profound, interesting lesson on muscle building that might get you thinking a little bit. So what I want to talk about today is this whole concept about the 4-minute mile. So you've probably heard about it's not new, isn't news, is it? But the 4-minute mile was first broken in 1954, right? And so this is nearly 60 years ago now, but or maybe it's nearly 70 years ago, sorry. So the 4-minute mile, for thousands of years before that, and I mean thousands of years before the 4-minute mile was broken, human beings thought it was impossible to run a mile in 4 minutes. I mean, there's records of like ancient Egyptians and Greeks trying to break a 4-minute mile and, using lions to chase people to try and motivate them, and just ended up getting killed by lions. There's records of all throughout history, people trying to break this 4-minute mile, and it was very much accepted by the medical professionals in more recent years and society as a whole that it couldn't be done. Medical profession just kind of came out and said, human beings can't run a 4-minute mile. It's physiologically impossible and it can't be done. And that was the accepted wisdom of the time. It's like today, it'd just be like today if the top scientists in the world and the top medical professionals in the world came out and said, this is impossible, you can't do this thing, then society as a whole would accept that. And that's what happened. Society accepted this, you can't run a 4-minute mile. And then, like I say, in 1954, all of a sudden, the 4-minute mile was broken. And it was a guy called Roger Bannister, and he broke the record in Oxford in England, and he broke it on the 6th of May in 1954. And it was global headlines. It was like people thought this was like some sort of superhuman achievement. It was like this guy must be like from outer space or something. Like he's just some absolute incredible guy achieving incredible things. There's probably never going to be another event like that in anybody's lifetime, because it's this thing that we've been trying to do for thousands of years, and this guy's come along finally and done it, and he did it by like 0.6 of a second. I think his time was like 3 minutes 59.4 seconds, so it was like just inside the 4-minute mile, and so everybody was like really, really excited, and it was a really cool time. But then something really funny happened. 6 weeks later, on the 21st of June in the same year, so Roger Bannister, remember, broke it on the 6th of May, and then on the 21st of June, which is like 6.5 weeks later, a guy called John Landy from Australia broke the record. He broke the 4-minute mile again, and he broke Roger Bannister's record by like 2 or 3 seconds. I just looked it up. It was like 57 or 56 seconds, as opposed to 59. So he broke it by like 2 or 3 seconds. And so after that happened, now to date, between the 1954 and today, 1,497 people in the last nearly 70 years have broken the 4-minute mile officially. Like, think about that for a second. Now, I know that that's not maybe anything obvious to do with muscle building. I'm going to circle this back in a minute to muscle building, but nearly 1,500 people have broken the 4-minute mile in an official setting. And that's in the last 70 years. And you compare that to thousands and thousands and thousands of years previously when not a single soul had been recorded to run under 4 minutes, in a mile under 4 minutes. And then nearly 1,500 people have done it. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that humans went for thousands of years thinking it was impossible, and having that belief reaffirmed by medical science and medical professionals, thinking that it was impossible for a human being to run a mile in under 4 minutes, until somebody did it. Somebody went and did it. Somebody actually proved all these people wrong, right? And then what that did was that gave everybody else the realization that it was possible. That it was like, all the scientists, all the medical professionals, all the doctors, they were wrong. It was possible because you've seen it with your own eyes, right? And when you see somebody else like you, like these people who were runners, and this guy, Roger Bannister, was just another one, like the same level as them. They probably ran together a lot on the track, and they used to beat each other and all that kind of stuff. And they saw one of their peers break this 4-minute mile. And all of a sudden, they started to think to themselves, well, if he can do it, maybe I can do it as well, right? And so what happened was John Landy obviously had that belief. He obviously saw Roger Bannister break the 4-minute mile, and he started to think, well, I'm as good as him, maybe I can do it as well, And so he then went and trained, and then in the 21st of June, he went and broke that record. And held the world record. And I think the world record stands like a good 10 or 15 seconds quicker than that now, which is insane, absolutely insane. Now, that's running. Now, I understand that we're not here to talk about running, but I'm talking about this for a very specific reason, because when you circle this back to muscle building, the top guys in the world might not be the biggest motivation, right? So, if you're looking at the top guys in the world, if you're looking at like the Arnold Schwarzeneggers or, the Phil Heath or the Kai Greaves, they might not be the biggest inspiration because they are so ridiculously far ahead, right? They are so ridiculously outside of normal. They are 300 to 350 pound monsters. They are, they obviously all take in anabolic assistance, and most of the people I would imagine that are listening to this podcast aren't interested in that sort of stuff. So what I like to do for muscle building is I like to take a look around at your level or slightly above, right? So in order to lift yourself up to the next level, in order to achieve more in a muscle building setting, it's quite important for you to see other people that have achieved what you want to achieve, whether you logically know it's possible or not, because obviously you logically know it's possible, if you wouldn't try to be doing it, but subconsciously that effect that's going to have on you. And remember, subconscious mind is 95% of your entire mind. So if you can imprint that possibility on your subconscious mind of looking at someone who just looks just like you, who's gone and achieved something insane, who's gone and achieved some ridiculous feat of strength, or they've packed on muscle in 6 weeks or whatever it was, and they've done something completely out of the box, and they look just like you and they look just like me. That's when you start to have this extra level of belief in yourself, because subconsciously or consciously you're going to start thinking to yourself, well, if they can do it, then why can't I do it? Surely I can do it as well. And just all of a sudden then you start getting this little bit of belief. You start getting this little seed of inspiration that's planted within you. And that's what happens when you start surrounding yourself with these people that are achieving great things. Now, when I got a training partner, and I spoke about this in the podcast before, but when I got a training partner who kind of just looked like me, I mean, had a slightly different body shape to me, but it was pretty much at the same level I was, right? And he started stacking weights on the bar when we were training on his sets, and it was weights that I'd never touched before and never even considered touching before, and he was crushing his sets. The effect that had on me was I instinctively upped my game. Now, I didn't be stupid about it. I didn't try and lift the same weight he was lifting there and then, because I would have, injured myself and not done it properly. But instinctively, I was like, right, okay, I'm going to push myself a little bit harder. I'm going to put a bit more weight than I was maybe going to gonna put on because I was probably being a bit too safe and a bit too comfortable there, right? So I might have gone up an extra 5 kg than I would have gone up, and then the next workout done the same, the next workout done the same, and I might have eked out an extra 4 or 5 reps of the set because my mind was not failing as quickly as it was before, because the mind will always fail before the body, always fail before the body, right? And I was strengthening my mind, I was strengthening my body. So I instinctively started upping my game. Now, this leads me on to my next point. If you surround yourself with garbage, if you surround yourself with people that are just content to achieve garbage, then you will probably also achieve garbage, right? If you surround yourself and you allow the main input of your external environment to be absolute, utter garbage, then you'll probably get garbage results. If you surround yourself with greatness, and if you surround yourself with people that are achieving greatness and people that are striving to achieve greatness and people that are all pushing to the same goals, even if it's not muscle building goals, even if you're just surrounding yourself up with people that are pushing forward, you will achieve greatness. And it might not happen today, it might not happen tomorrow, but if you keep surrounding yourself with those kinds of people, you will up your game. It'll be the 4-minute mile for you when you start seeing what these people are achieving and you start intrinsically thinking, maybe I can do that as well. Maybe I can achieve greatness with my goals as well. Maybe I can, lift that kind of weight. Maybe I can stack on that kind of muscle. Maybe I can lose that kind of fat. Maybe I can get my abs. All that's whatever it is for you. Maybe you'll start believing that as well in yourself. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking here, because I would have been thinking the same thing. If you don't have a great training partner, or if you don't have know anybody that's got that kind of mindset, and you can't seem to figure out how to get around them, if there's nobody around you that you can rely on to create that kind of environment, then flood your life with inspirational podcasts like this one, right? Listen to all of the episodes of the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. Flood your life and flood your brain with podcasts. Flood your life and flood your brain and flood your being with videos of inspirational, motivational stuff. Watch people that are achieving great things. Yes, in muscle building, but also just in general life. Whatever you want to achieve, flood your life. Instead of watching Netflix at night, instead of working your way through Game of Thrones or working your way through Breaking Bad or whatever, why don't you just open your laptop or go on YouTube or even just go on your phone or whatever it is, and watch people achieving great things and listen to what people say they did to achieve them great things, and listen to what people say you should do to achieve those great things, and then start upping your game and start realizing it's possible, because it is absolutely possible. Whatever you want to achieve, it's absolutely possible. So these things will lift you up and they'll motivate you and they'll inspire you to achieve more. Now, what I used to do before, just after I'd had the training partner, and on the days where maybe I wasn't training with that guy, or I was training on my own, or sometimes I was training with him, but I just wanted that extra boost as well. I used to watch videos. I used to go on either Instagram when I was doing social media, or I would go on YouTube, or I would, just look up wherever I could look up, whatever kind of media I could find, of people that were kind of just like me, achieving incredible things. I used to watch people hitting insane PBs and lifting ridiculous amounts of weight on the exact same exercises that I was going to do that day. And that was like the 4-minute mile for me. So although that wasn't a world record, it was probably a PB for the person I was watching, and it was way above what I was capable of at the time as well. So while I wasn't probably going to achieve the same number that they achieved in terms of weight, that was then forcing me to up my game, because I saw somebody overcoming their limitations. I saw somebody breaking their previous best, and I was then inspired to go and break my previous best. So it's not like I don't want you guys to misunderstand this. I'm not trying to get you to compare yourself to these people. I'm not trying to get you to get the opposite effect going on. If you see somebody lifting 300, 300 kilos or whatever, and then you start getting disheartened because you can only lift 100 kilos. Like, that's not the point of this. The point of this is to see somebody overcoming their limitations, whatever their limitations is, whether their limitations 50 kilos, 100 kilos, 300 kilos, 400 kilos, whatever it is, right? You see somebody who's pushed through and achieved more than they were previously capable of, and you are inspired to go and do the same. You then see he's broke his 4-minute mile, I'm going to go break my 4-minute mile, because everybody's 4-minute mile's different. So that's kind of a roundabout way of saying what I want to say here. Flood your life with either people in your external environment that are achieving great things and breaking their own 4-minute miles, which will inspire you to go and break yours. Or if there's nobody around you that can do that, then go on the internet and find examples of people who are breaking their 4-minute miles every single day, because they are out there. There are people out there doing it. There are people out there doing it in muscle building. There are people out there doing it in strength building. There are people out there doing it in fitness. There are people out there doing it in business. There are people out there doing it in finance. People are achieving amazing things. And if all you do is sit and watch the news, or if all you do is sit and watch Netflix, you won't be exposed to any of that. So my advice, I know that's a bit of a rant, but my advice for today is just go find those people and expose yourself to it and be inspired to break your own 4-minute miles. That's all I've got to share for you today, guys. If you want to get started on a muscle building workout program, go to musclebuildingmastery.net to download your free 6-week workout program. I'm also in the process of building out the 6 weeks to mass challenge, which will be a really, really cool way to get you kick-started on breaking your own 4-minute miles in the muscle building space. So I hope you are excited about that, because I am, and I'll see you next time on the Muscle Building Mastery podcast. Bye. If you're ready to stop wasting time in the gym and start mastering the skill of muscle building, go check out www.musclebuildingmastery.net to download your free 6-week muscle building workout plan. I have specifically formulated this workout plan to take you through the 3 stages of mastering your body, layering on a more advanced training methodology each week as you progress. That means that regardless of where you are with your training right now, this plan will push you forward and help you stack on more muscle and strength in just 6 weeks. So head to www.musclebuildingmastery.net now to grab your free 6-week workout plan.